So, welcome everybody to our Monday night call. It feels like it's been a while since I've been able to do this. Um, I've been on the road for a while. It was nice to come home and sleep in my own bed for a change, but I was on the road over to England and Birmingham and Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Boynton Beach, and then West Palm. I ended up in for the training and was so elated to have some of our teammates together there. And Jen Moyer, Kevin Duguay, Dr. Sylvia Passfield, and Donalita McIsaac. Don't know whether Donali's on here or not.
Yeah,
I don't see her.
I do see her.
Yeah, if you want to maybe send her a message, Jen, and let her know that we're on and send her the link.
Sure. Yeah.
We can maybe do that. She maybe just didn't get the tag, but anyways, what a road trip. Kev, I know you were away for a while and
Yeah.
um, I think that the training and I think the eye-opening experience that we all had and we all experienced in West Palm was it was just mind-blowing. And I think that the growth that we can all do together, and the importance of continuing to pour into yourself, I think is really, really
Mhm.
dynamic. I mean, when you see John Maxwell, who is 78 years old, has sold 38 million books, has wrote, I believe is it 78 books, I think?
94.
Oh,
94.
94. I stand corrected. Sorry. 94
Yep.
books. And he still is the most humble guy saying, I'm continuing to pour into myself. I'm continuing to get better each and every day. And I think that a lot of times um, we maybe think we are already the best. And I can assure you that we're not. I'm not. And there's always room for improvement. And I used to always say, I met an older gentleman one time at my church and he introduced himself and we were talking about a couple things on growing and he said the only room in my house is the room for improvement. And so I've lived with that for a lot of years, and it certainly has helped me grow, and I continue to grow. And just a blessing to have this. I mean, to be lucky enough to have reached the rank of vice president, which you all can do. I can assure you, you can all hit that rank and have this training being paid for uh, by our owner and CEO is a gift that's hard to explain because John Maxwell is probably, if not most definitely, the world's top training leader anywhere. And he'll deny that. He say, I don't know how you measure that, but maybe you guys were talking to my mom or something like that. He would say, maybe that's how I got the rating. But certainly was a great experience. I'm sure Jen and Dr. Sill and Kev, and if Donalita gets on here, can say the same thing. My only wish was there wasn't more of us there. But because we were able to be there, I think we decided to do a little bit of sharing here on the call tonight, so that if you want to take down a pen and paper, we can talk about some of the takeaways that we had at this event. Talk a little bit about how we can apply that to our personal lives and our personal businesses to help us grow. So some of the takeaways were just phenomenal. So um, Jen, why don't you get started with sort of what maybe was, maybe two or three of your most powerful takeaways and what you thought of the event?
Yeah. Well, it was, for me personally, it was a life-changing event. Um, when you listen to John and like the man is just so full of knowledge, and experience and he's funny. He's funny too, but the biggest aha moment for me was when he said, your business can't grow any bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And that's when I said to myself, I need to grow as a person. I need to grow as a leader. Um, I feel like, through COVID, through looking after my dad, um, and all of those things that life kind of throws at you, I feel like I kind of stalled in the personal growth, personal development area.
Hmm.
And it really was what I personally needed to kickstart myself again. Um, yeah, so I have, all of his books are lessons, and he teaches lessons. And so I'm excited. I believe that over the next 12, 11 months now, we had our first lesson a week ago. Um, I believe we'll get 11 more lessons, and they'll be directly related to what we're all trying to accomplish. Um, we're all trying to pursue the Super Patch mission of helping a billion people. And yeah, like he throughout the 4 hours, and what a time it was for him on that Monday.
Oh my
We were
goodness.
we were supposed to meet from 1 till 5. Poor John. He was in Europe on a vacation with his wife. Um, he got delayed coming out of Switzerland, which in itself is a long flight. And then when they went to land in Atlanta, there was a storm and they shut the airport down. Um, when they delayed his flight from Switzerland, they changed the time of our meeting, said, okay, it's not going to be from 1 till 5. We're going to do it from 4 till 8 now. And so we all showed up at 4. Then the delay in Atlanta. Well, you know what? He made it. He got there and he gave us such value. I can't imagine how tired he must have been.
He's 78 years old and was up
Yeah,
for 27 hours straight
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
delivered the most powerful 5 hours of training that you could ever imagine. It
yeah,
was absolutely mind blowing.
yeah,
We all got these amazing books
yeah.
to write our notes in, and he signed every single person's book.
Everybody.
Time to sign. That's an incredible leader that goes above and beyond to do that. So Jen, great point
Yeah.
for bringing that up for sure. But
But my other big takeaway. So number one, your business can't grow any bigger than you are. Number two, start every day and go out every single day and try to bring value to other people. Look for ways to bring value, encourage other people to bring value. Um, and I tell you, I've been doing that every single day for the last week. And you have no idea how fulfilling it feels
mhm,
to think, I see I can help this person. Like at the airport yesterday, this poor gentleman was behind me and he had like a shoulder bag and whatever, and he brought it around and I could just see it was open, everything was going to dump out all over the place. And I just said, you know what, can I help you? Um, do you want this closed? And he says, well, I've been trying to do that. And I just zipped it shut for him. And I thought, gosh, that just feels so good inside. You know,
yeah.
it's not anything direct to my business, but it is direct to me personally. So, yeah. And I've got probably 10 pages of notes of great stuff.
Well, I think what
I'm
we'll
just,
do, Jen, is we'll do this type of call once a month as we go through the training
yeah,
because I think it's so important to share it with our family here,
Hmm.
and have them take notes and give suggestions. Like no different than what we got as far as that's concerned. But yeah, those are two amazing points for sure, and lots more coming. So how about Dr. Sill? Dr. Sill, what did you think?
For me, um, like the biggest aha moment, not aha moment, but aha moment, it's like it was the biggest realization, one of them, that every single day, like in the morning, have to prep ourselves. Like we will have to say, think every single morning, like, okay, what I want to do today, what I want to accomplish today. And yeah, guilty in charge because like after a little while, especially being in the clinic and everything else, like just we just automatically get up and it's like, okay, I go to work and I do this and I do that without almost like a schedule that, okay, this is what I want to accomplish. And I have to prep myself. Plus, have to practice, like how John said that practice, practice, practice,
Mm-hmm.
because practice changed the habit.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And if like that's why I said it was the that was even from me, um, guilty in charge because if you are not practicing, if I'm not sitting down deliberately in the morning and remind myself that this is what I want to accomplish, this is what I want to do, and write it down and practice it every single day. Like
Yeah, I
how,
remember Sil. Do you remember what
yeah,
he said about practice? I wrote
yes,
it down because
yep,
as an athlete, ex-athlete, I practiced a lot, and you always heard that saying that you know practice makes perfect, and he said
excellent. Like
and
he
he
said
said
that
practice does not
absolute
make
excellent.
perfect. Practice makes permanent.
Yep.
Practice makes permanent. We'll never achieve perfection,
Yep.
but
And
if we,
yes,
yeah,
because like life circumstances, every single day, so many things happens with every single of us. And if we are not organize our thoughts and we are not practicing, we are not staying focused, then we won't be able to do we won't be able to accomplish what is our goal. The and like the other things for me was the that I have to prioritize my to-do list
mhm.
because because my to-do list is usually takes away daily like so many different directions, and if I'm not prioritizing, if I'm not sitting down, if I not write it down as a schedule. At the end of the day, everything else is get done and everything else has happened except what I want to accomplish that day.
Mhm.
And well, like especially for me, the other big takeaway was that what can I do to help yourself?
Mhm.
Like that one, for me, like that was another eye-opening that, oh, yes, because we used to ask and we still asking, like even from our hearts, from each other, that how can I help you? Okay, but how John said is like, well, it's not necessarily what the other person need. How, like, what can I do to help for that person
Yeah, he said, "What
to,
can I do to
to
help
help
you help yourself?"
yourself? Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
What can I do
And
to help
that
you help
was,
yourself?
yep. Like instead of how can I help you? Like, well, my help is not necessarily what's that person's need or how I think or how I want to help them. Again, my way is not necessarily their way. They have to know what they need.
Hmm.
And again, it is goes back to organize your thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, those are great takeaways, so for sure. And I think that so many times as a leader, people reach out to you, reach out to you, reach out to you, and a lot of times they're wanting you to do the business for them. And he switched it around and said, you need help, but what can I do to help you help yourself?
Right.
Right? And so rather than doing it for them, direct them,
Yep.
give them exercises so that they can help themselves. So phenomenal point there. That's great. Thanks, Sil. What about you, Kev? Should be able to unmute.
There we
There he
go.
is.
All right. So one thing I learned with John Maxwell, I'm glad we're so old we learn how to write cursive because you don't know how to write cursive with this guy, you're like dust, man. There's no way you can keep up with this
Oh,
guy
thank God you were
because
No
beside me.
printing.
Thank
listen,
God
man,
you were
Yeah.
big,
beside me, or I would have failed
yeah,
miserably.
because this guy, when he speaks, is like a coach. He says something once and he moves on. He never repeated anything twice. And he never, what was that? And nobody would dare ask. But there are a few things. One thing I look at with all of us that were there with leadership is that he took the time and it's very easy to get in front of people and just talk about something. But one of the things he talked about that hit me because of how he ran the seminar is humility and teachability is critical as a leader. So here's a guy that's done what he's done and still he's got more books he's working on. He's just got to keep living longer. Is he asked us as leaders, what can I do to help you? It wasn't like he's sitting up there and telling us what to do. It was like he wanted to hear from us. And this is what's going to be so powerful with the teaching that we're going to do, that we're going to be able to share as a group, as a family over the next 12 months, 11 months, is that these are questions that at some point have come up in all of us in our own teams or in ourselves personally to grow ourselves and going, well, where are you stuck? What's not working? What can I do to get better? Like Terry said, the room for improvement. So when you have somebody that's led by example, and this was another teaching point, right? You lead by example, lead by doing. We get to do this in our own walk as we grow this out. So that was, that was pretty special. And he just sat there in a chair in front of a super patch backdrop, and there was no PowerPoint, there's no video, there's no nothing. It's just like you're sitting in a restaurant having a 4 hour dinner with somebody, and you're just like a sponge
Hmm.
listening to wisdom from somebody who done the do, has been there and lead, and he just loves
I know why
helping
Jen was
others.
just laughing there.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know, I know, I know, I know.
Yes, you do.
See, when you're a dog owner, you're gonna throw out these dogisms. It is what it is, right? Maybe I could have chosen my words more succinctly, but hey,
No,
it was very, very
that's
powerful in there.
that's what
Okay,
he says. You want to
yeah,
do what I do, you gotta did what I did.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for
Otherwise,
the
you're in
clarification.
big doo-doo.
That's right. Thanks for that clarification, Jen. Appreciate it. The couple things for me and something that makes us unique with Super Patch is he shared they need to hear the humanness and authenticity of the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's tough. And he built on that, and I shared this morning with the ladies out west, is everything worthwhile is uphill. Because we've all been in the valley. Every single one of us has been there. Some of us are there right now, and they're going, I don't think I can ever. And together we can help each other for those that are willing to put in the effort. And I
Mhm.
use the analogy of like climbing a mountain. You can climb Mount Everest solo. That's really, it can be done, but it's very dangerous. But you need a team. But everybody on the team is willing to work. So willing to work and put in the time and the effort in little blocks throughout our day is the old analogy of sometime or full time, but not sometime, or part time or full time, but not sometime. We need to make the conscious effort every day to develop ourselves as individuals, and which tied into my next one where I got my notes. I wrote a lot of notes, man. I was like a machine, but positive people are intentional. They
Mhm.
add
Yeah.
value and
Yep.
negative people are unintentional. All right, so be a positive in that light. And the last one is vision separates pretenders from the players. So
Yes.
commitment is the dividing line between players and so commitment. So I've seen this over and over again in all of us that have committed to the, as Jen alluded to the mission, have committed ourselves that I have made a commitment. And I use this when I was talking to some people, and I saw it again, as explained by John, when an athlete makes a commitment to go to a school. They made a commitment. I signed the paper and I'm all in. And whatever we do at whatever we do, and we focus on that, will grow. And so, as I and others, and wherever you are in your journey, man, I'm going to fix my focus. You may have heard this line. I'm going to zero in, I'm going to lock in, and I'm going to be the best version of me every day because we only got one day. We've got the day we're in right now. And as we do that, it will lead to positive changes
Mm-hmm.
because you're putting in the right ingredients. And if you look at it, if for those of us who play sports and you get around these types of concepts, you'll see them in dressing rooms or they put notes up on the wall and these plaques and these words. It's there to inspire and help us because you're going to go through a losing streak. I've been there. I've been on the winning streak and I've been on a losing streak. Say, oh, nobody's gonna say no to this, Kev. Yeah, right. I'll tell you, I got a lot of no. But then you find the yes, and
Yeah.
it just fires you up. And that's what we're able to do with the group in West Palm and the group in Florida and those that were working on this. So it's so exciting to have a mentor coach over the next 11 months to help us like literally transform ourselves, which will transform our businesses and our teams. Why? Because action leads to things and people people want to follow a leader. There's so many people wandering aimlessly out there and they watch us and they're watching us. So as you become a better person, better version of you, just keep growing. It'd be
Yeah,
amazing to see. Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that that really struck me, Kevin and Jen, and so you'll probably remember that
I
people get
think
into.
Don's on the call too, Tara.
I'm
I
sorry.
think I think I saw Donalita on here too now,
Let me just check.
just to let you know.
Let me see.
Yeah, I'm here, Terry.
Oh,
Yeah,
good,
there she
Donnelly.
is.
Great.
That's
Glad
She's
you.
under her phone number.
Oh, that's why I couldn't see her.
she's
I
hiding in his
snuck in
barn.
late.
I think she's got two messages. So
There she is. There she is.
I
Uh,
got them, Sil.
well, Donalita hosted a great party when we were all there for the training. So once again, Donalita, thank you very much. She took all Kev and these guys all to their polo match, a polo match.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I couldn't make that event, but it was a really really nice evening. And Don, what are a couple takeaways that you remember distinctly from the training?
Um, Something I remember that he pointed out was focus on your top 10% or
Yeah.
20% of your associates. And I haven't been doing that. I focus on my newest associates, the older ones that are doing their thing and producing. Not that I don't support them, I don't support them enough because they are
Mm,
my rock, they are my base.
sure.
They're the ones that make me a paycheck. So I'm going to give my newer associates a month to see if they're trying to like not that I will never help them, but I'm going to give them a month just to see how much they are interested in trying to produce in this company and never take away time from my associates that have been with me that they might have only been with me a couple of months, but they're trying hard. So I have to focus on the ones that are trying hard. And he said, the ones that aren't are going to bring you down and don't take away from the ones that are trying hard. That kind of hit me because I'm like, I'm doing this wrong.
Hmm.
Because you want to go wide and you think people have potential, but they're just not doing it. They're just not working at it. So another thing, create great relationships with your associates.
Hmm.
I try to do that. And I try to tell people this isn't hard. It's not a hard sell. These patches are amazing. I've seen them change my life. lots of lives around me. It's not like we're trying to sell makeup or, weight loss or things like that. It's not something everyone has out there. So to me, I get very passionate about it because I know what it's done for me.
Hmm.
And so I tell my story everywhere I go, everywhere I go. I
Yeah.
mean, Kevin caught me at the polo game for the first time since I've been in this company without a pack of patches in, in my purse because I never go anywhere without patches in my purse
Right.
to test people. And at the last second, because personally I didn't know if there'd be a game or not because of the weather, I grabbed a white purse and I didn't put my patches in. And but luckily, the captain came through and he was on the field.
He
He
always
was
does,
on the
hey,
I'll
Don?
field.
carry your sticks. I'll carry your
First
sticks,
time
caller.
he
It's okay.
caught
I'll
me, he
carry your
caught me
sticks.
off
It's
guard in
good.
my life.
Yeah, he's a good liney. We love him on our
Yes,
line. That's for
but I
sure.
I saw you with your shorts on with the patches in them at the meeting, Terry. Everybody goes everywhere with patches,
Yeah.
and I think that's important too because everyone I run into, I had a girl helping me, little tiny thing, helping me with a big box of tomato sauce. I'm making tomato sauce for an event. She's like, I'll carry this to your garage. I'm like, you can't carry that. Look at you. And she goes, oh, I'm strong. So we got the stuff in my car, and I said, you think you're pretty strong, don't you? And she goes, yeah, they all call me like Mighty Mouse in here. I said, I'm going to show you how strong you are. So, of course, in the parking lot, I tested her. She bought patches right on the spot.
Oh boy.
And then she
Awesome.
wanted to take some home for her mother. Like she goes, I'm putting these on my mother who has bad balance. So, like on the spot, she bought patches. So
Yeah,
as
that's
she's
phenomenal.
carrying tomato sauce to my car. So, like, you know, anywhere and everywhere, polo field,
Yeah.
grocery store, doesn't matter, you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I love what you talked about there, Don, about, helping the top 20% on your
Yeah.
team. And he said, people should be spending 80% of their time on the 20% of people
Hmm.
instead of 85 or 90% of their time on the bottom 80%. And
What'd you say? You can't raise the dead.
yeah, that's what he said. He said, people down below, they think they want help. And he said, what they need is a funeral.
Yes.
He
I,
knows
I
a lot
wrote
of
that
dead
down. I
people. It's just
remember
not
that.
official.
Yeah. But we're all guilty of that because we want everybody to succeed. But he said,
Right.
that was a great point, Don. He said, don't do it. You'll just,
Yeah.
you'll die a slow death. He said, work with the people that want to grow it, that are intentional. And he talked about too, I mean, people get into the victim mindset. Oh, woe is me, gloom, despair, and agony on me. I can't do this. Well, you're right. You can't. If that's what you're saying, you can't. But he also said that, people think that the path they're on is what designs who they are. So he talked about destiny doesn't design us. We design our destiny.
That's
So
right.
we make that point of what we want to be. We don't let the world tell us what we're going to be. And so we create our destiny. Our destiny doesn't create us. And so that was very powerful for me because sometimes we just want to sit back and you know come up with all the things of why we're not doing things we should be doing or our successes. Doesn't mean that we don't all need help. We all need help, 100%.
Yes.
And he's still doing it. He still talks to the smartest people. He looks for smart people. He said, if I'm the smartest person in the room, in the class, I'm finding a new class.
I'm in the wrong class.
He's finding a new class. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And one of the things I think everybody on this call wants to be a leader in some way, right? Who, by show of hands, would like to be a leader in some way for your team, for your family, for whatever? So, there's three questions to ask yourself for leadership that stuck out to me that he brought in. And the question you have to ask yourself, he said, is, do I want to make a difference in this world? Do I want to do something significant? Do I want to make a difference in this world? That's question number one. Question number two to ask yourself, am I willing to learn, be coachable, flexible, so that I can be an example to my team and the world at large? So again, am I willing to be coachable, teachable, have flexibility, be able to help everyone by getting better myself? And then the third one he said, you have to ask yourself, again, what I just spoke about is, who determines your destiny?
Yeah, and like even just to add into the destiny part, like I think all of us made that mistake right in the beginning that we made our own goal and we want to give to our team that this is what we are doing. Now, at the meantime, their goal, it's not necessarily my goal or our goal.
Mhm.
So, like, so basically, uh, they have to have their ownership. And if they don't have the ownership, they don't have their goal set yet or organize their thoughts, like as we were talking before. Um, I like, yeah, we can help them, we can teach them, but we will need to determine, like, almost not just ourselves, but even as a team, that okay, guys, this is what we can do together, and we are going together at these directions, and even asking from them that uh, what's your goal, and like, and not just the goal, but what can you do? Like, we have to ask from them what, like, what they can do, or what they cannot do. Because it is one thing if I want to, like as a leader, it's like, oh, this is where we're going, and in my mind I already said that, okay, this is what we're doing, and everybody's supposed to follow that one. But at the meantime, not everybody's goal, number one, like their goal not necessarily mine. Number two, not necessarily they can do what I want from them. So if we are not clearing again the conversation and the directions that, yeah, okay, so this is what we're doing, and this is what you can do, because how he said that if something you didn't learn or you didn't develop yet, you cannot teach it and you cannot do it. So without a clear understanding, we can't really just tell people that this is where we're going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. So, I think what we should do now, I don't know whether, anybody has questions that they would like to ask, any on the points that we made. I'd like to open it up a little bit, and you should, if anybody has a question, you can use the reaction button down below if you want, and just raise your hand or do whatever, and then I can unmute you. Does anybody have any questions? Anything that we talked about tonight that you could ask of Jen or myself or Dr. Sill or Donalita or Kevin? Because we don't, there's a lot here, and there's going to be a lot here every month. And so Agnes.
Hi, I
Hi,
just want
Agnes.
to.
How are you?
Hi, I'm very well, thanks.
Good.
I'm
Nice to
glad
see
you
you.
guys all had a great time. Everybody's got a nice sunny face on them, so that's great. I just wanted to say thanks so much for all the nuggets that you're sharing, because there's lots of golden nuggets there just with what we're getting here tonight. So very much appreciated.
Oh, our pleasure. Well, thank you for saying that. And I have never, I'm guilty of this myself. I've never been a reader in my life. I've been a picture looker at her. If I get a magazine, I just get it because it's got lots of pictures in it. But I've only read one book in my life, and that was Go Ask Alice, and that was I think in grade 9, and it was about a girl that couldn't get off drugs, and I never read another book again. But I'm not a big reader other than the Bible. I've read the Bible cover to cover, probably 4 times in my life. But and that's a discipline, trust me. Um, but I'm really encouraged myself to start reading some of John Maxwell's stuff because I haven't read it. And we'll talk about this, you know, some of the John has given us a list at the event, which we'll talk about of some of the top books that he would suggest applicable to what we're doing with the Super Patch that would help our business. And so, we can either put that in a chat or whatever. But I think it's um, so important that when you find a mentor, you find a leader like John Maxwell. And I don't know about you guys, Jen and Kevin and Sylvia and Don, but isn't he just give you the feeling of that he could be anybody's grandpa?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
so
Oh,
absolutely.
gentle and whatever.
I
And
wish he sat at my table every night.
yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I
yeah.
agree,
He never
Don.
go to sleep.
Yeah.
He's the most. It's no wonder why he says, "Hi, my name is John Maxwell, and I'm your friend." I mean, he says that at his opening all the time. But one other line I think that really struck me is he was talking about people on your team that will come up and say, would say to John in the past, "Hey, John, I'm really burnt out." And John would say, that really confuses me. That confuses me that you're burnt out because you've never been on fire. So you can't burn out unless you were on fire first. So he said he was talking in the vein of excuses. And so your business, he said, what happens in business too is that you'll be here with your people. If your people don't grow with you, this will be you and this will be your team, and they'll get left behind. So we all have to be willing to grow together to some degree. Some will engage more than others. Um, but I'm really excited about what we can bring uh, to our family here over, the next 12 months. And I think that if you think of anything or you have questions for the next call, please write your questions down, bring them to next, because I want this to be very interactive. And I'm changing up the format a bit of this call, and I might as well tell everybody now that I'm going to make the calls more discussion going forward. We're going to talk to people that are in the business. We're going to kind of do it interview style. We're going to open it up so it becomes more of an interactive group because I think it helps all of us. We're so afraid to touch that mute button. I don't want to
Mhm.
talk. I can't talk. What if they don't like my voice? So we got to get out and we got to be like a family. I know people that I've met before that don't talk in public, but you can't shut them up at a private dinner, right? So it's just a comfort level. That's all it is. So I think that the more interactive, the more we can share some stories, the more we can invite guests on. I want guests in here to see our culture, to see what we're doing, see why we left. So next week, I'm doing a call and another leader in the company. Her name is Eva Angelopoulos, and she's been in network marketing for a lot of years. We're just simply doing an interview style and taking away from the regiment of the business. I believe that we need to get people in using the products, understand the products, and then if they want a business meeting or they want a business presentation, that's a separate meeting. But I think we've kind of lost touch of our culture a little bit. And our culture, way back when, I remember, was based on humility. It was based on caring about people. It was based on truly helping people become their best and overcome challenges. And I think we got to get back to that a little bit. We can always, talk about the business for those that really, I'm here anytime. If anybody really wants to dig deep into the business side of it, I'm here anytime to do that. But remember, we're all part of a mission. We're all pioneers here. We've all taken that kind of that oath to share what we have because we've all been exposed to it. So this is going to be a call too, whether we do an information call like this and we're sharing stuff, to bring your guests just so we can, you know, expose them to the culture. When we do live meetings or we go to live events, a lot of it's about the culture. A lot of it's about telling stories. A lot of it's about telling, you know, a testimonial, your experience with the product, your experience with a friend. And so we're going to get back to that a little bit over the next little while. And I encourage you to invite friends because I think that a lot of times friends that come on the call don't want to hear bloody, 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 $6 billion, bloody, bloody, bloody. You can do. No, we want to see why you joined, why you came here, the culture, the love, the experiences. Kev has always alluded to the Kleenex moments, you know, that we've talked about.
Talking
I
about a
think those
customer.
are I think those are still very, very vital. And I just felt that after listening to John Maxwell and the compassion and the care in his voice. And I think we've got away from that a little bit, uh, you know, based on you know, business. And there's nothing wrong with business, and there's nothing wrong with, you know, people wanting to make an extra $500 or $300. And I do the exercise all the time when I'm talking. I ask people to close their eyes and raise your hand, everybody with your eyes closed, who could use another $300 to $500 in their house. And everybody puts their hand up. And I tell them to open their eyes and see everybody's hands up. And I said, so is it okay if we talk a little bit about the money? Right? But people don't want to talk about the money or think that they're involved. But we're all here because we care about people. We're all here because it'd be nice to make some money at it, I suggest. But we're not all here because money's the only thing. We're all here because we care about humanity. We care about people. And so we're going to get back to that, and I hope you guys like it. If you've got, you know, an encouraging story, we're going to open it up to a Q&A so that we can ask a few questions and go from there. So, Helen, I'm going to unmute you or ask you to unmute. Go ahead.
Click on the right button so you can hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Hi,
Thank
Helen.
you. Hi there. So, just wondering about this John Maxwell, how it's going to relate to us over the next 10 to 11 or 12 months. How is this training delivered to us, and how do we participate, and what does that look like?
Well, Helen, you had to, Jay Dhaliwal's paying for it, and he's paying for anybody that had hit the vice president rank and above. Okay.
No, that was your weekend thing.
No,
But you're saying,
No, no, no.
no, that's every month as well.
oh, so the
Paid for.
training is
So
for
1
Yeah,
vice
year.
presidents and
so
above. Oh, so it's not
we
on.
can't share a screen. It's not on a Zoom. What we're doing as
Ah.
teammates is taking, well, Kev maybe more so than the rest of us because he writes way faster, taking very good
My ears
notes
are red.
and being able to share them with everybody, share our experience, share our nuggets that we get, and we're happy to do that. I wish
Okay.
for everybody, Helen, I really do. But Jay put out a challenge a while ago that anybody that reached the rank of vice president by a certain date, he would look after paying for their training with John Maxwell. So
Okay.
that's why I said I wish there was more people there. I wish, and going forward over the next 12 months, 11 months because the first month's gone, we want to share all those things with all of you guys, and we want people. We're going to take as good a notes as we can take, and we want to share those nuggets. That's the next best thing to be in there, I think.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I just understood it that in my head it was that was the launch of it, and you were going to tell it, you were going to learn all about it and bring it and tell us as your teams, this is what we're going to do. It's like a monthly login on a Zoom, participate or a webinar-y thing. But if
No,
it's
unfortunately, it's not. It was only
okay.
it'll be a private webinar for those that have qualified,
Hmm.
and because we were fortunate enough to qualify, we feel it's very important to share all the nuggets that
Yeah.
we have to help everybody grow. You can
Hmm.
choose to do it or not to do it. but we're going to share once a month everything that we've learned in these trainings.
Awesome. Great. Thanks.
Great question. Great comment for sure.
Can I
Anything
share
else?
one more thing, Tara?
Absolutely, for sure. We
Yeah.
got another
So
10 minutes or so.
what I loved about this was John said, any action is the best action. Stop getting ready to get ready. You don't have to be perfect. Just get into action.
Yeah, that's a great
Yep.
point.
Yep.
Hence the reminder about this,
Yeah.
our action sheet, our activity sheet.
Yeah.
It's certainly a great way to keep your mind sort of focused on any action, as John puts it. Any action is better than no action.
Yeah,
So,
and like even like and it's like not all day, but every day.
Yes, that's right. I love that one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to do it all day, but you just have to do it every day, right?
Yep.
So,
I was just reading this. It's like 3 to 5 times a day, you got to be at 100%.
yeah,
You don't have to be at 100% all day long. But like Sil says, you have to be at 100% every
Every day.
day,
yeah, yeah. Great.
not
Kev,
all day.
anything in closing to finish up here?
No, I've talked too much. I had 7 Zooms today. I'm out. I'm out. I'm talked. I'm out.
Oh,
I'm
it's your
out,
day
man.
off. That's right.
I got a
Come on.
new condition called Zoomitis. I got to look in the machine in
Hey,
the clinic if there's a
this
treatment
is
for
the
that
fifth time
condition.
today. This is the fifth time today you need to be at 100%. So finish
That's
up.
right.
That's right.
You're not getting off
Jet
that
lag.
easy.
You
Not with
just
me
had a nice
anyways.
vacation, Kev.
I'm so proud. I didn't get a sunburn. I'm so happy, man. I did a
We're
good
Yeah.
job. It
planning
was
for
very good.
September.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it.
So finish this up, Kev. Take us home.
Well, I get this week in Florida, just so you know that, as we all do our part. For me, two things. I would love you all to keep remembering this every time you go to speak. I had the privilege with some of our great Floridian family, with Donalita, Sue Vipond, and Stephanie Tollers, who are in the 20%. And I got to talk to some very, very educated people about the gift that we have with this tech, and they're like deer in the headlights. They have no clue about what this science is. And so know that wherever you are on this call in your journey with Super Patch, you know more than a PhD faculty member at a medical institution are these different people. So you just keep sharing. And there's always people to help. And the second last day that I was there, actually, I got a great video coming up with a pro football player coming out soon. It's going to be epic. It's a great demo. It's classic. And only pro football could do that. But there was a lady that I met that had suffered a stroke. And, life can come down very quickly to reality. In the gift that we have with this tech, when you see this young mother of 2 who had her life dramatically changed with a single brain injury, and how it affected the whole right side of her body and her speech. And then thankfully, we had a teammate that knew of this family and reached out, say, listen, I have something I think it can help you. And they did the demo, of course, and then she wore the patch. So again, intent. And she is beyond grateful for how, and Jen was there, and Jen and I were there at this event on the Saturday. And for me, for 11 years, folks, this is my driving force. It's these people that without this tech, she would not be able to do what she was able to do on that Saturday. And I said, you are part of a family that has a mindset that we will never quit. I will not quit on this mission. I mean, what we have seen, and all of us that have been at it a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so that part of the driving force for me every day when I get up, First thing I do, I got to go walk the dog. After that, it's like, I'm going to go and make a difference in somebody's life today. That's
Hmm.
my intention. And so those um, those images of real people, like we had real people, real results that we get to see, is it fuels the fire in me that there's always more to do. And so I'm just blessed to be on this amazing team with all of you and all the others in other country that are out there doing the same thing. Sharing is caring is Terry's famous hashtag, and the one team, and we just go and help people, and we will at some point keep changing this every day, keep changing more for better. And it's an amazing thing to have that as part of our lives compared to what we didn't have without this tech, because we all know where we were at that point, and
Yeah.
we're in a better place. So
Well,
I
you know what,
just,
Kev? It's really
yeah,
exciting to see. We talk about Nike. It was 10 years before it was a recognized brand.
yeah,
For basically two and a bit years. Well, I had a great conversation with my dear friend Heather Lemke today, and she does a lot of shows. And she said she's starting to see people that come to the show specifically looking for the super patch now. And she's been
awesome.
doing shows pretty consistently for 2+ years, along with Jen Poirier and Jeanette and a number of you on here. And what a feeling that is to have people that come in to go to your booth, to go to your setup, and actually are looking for the patches. Now, that just gives a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, doesn't it? And that little bit of light we know is not a train. That little bit of light is, a gift,
Yeah,
and we're all working towards that. So that is really amazing to hear, Heather, and thank you for sharing that with
yeah,
me today. That's very, very, very exciting. So, anyways, I wanted to just pass on my thanks to everybody that jumped on this call tonight. Again, this isn't just for team. I want you to invite your friends, people that want to learn a little bit about the culture. We can do it technically some nights and not technically some nights, and we'll continue to interact with each other. And again, we're all grabbing onto the rope so that we don't miss the bus, and we'll all get on the bus together. So, thank you very much for your time tonight. Appreciate it very much, and I will just stop the recording.